Welcome to a Drop Tent Media production.
Pretty face like that, I can't be mad at you. An independent woman with an attitude. I can give you what you want, but you don't really need it, cause you never want for nothing. So I wouldn't be wrong to ask you to my place. If you tell me that you can't, then baby, it's okay.
All right. We back again.
Welcome to Crimes to Remember with Shari Franklin. And we also have our host today, Mike Adams. How are you today?
Very good. Very good. Very good. Ready for another great episode of Murder and Mischief. So who do you have for us today?
All right, so today we're looking at the prolific serial killer, Richard Ramirez.
Richard Ramirez. Okay.
Now, are you familiar with Richard Ramirez at all?
I know he's Spanish.
Okay. That sounded racist, and I don't want to converse with you anymore. So, Neil, have you heard of Richard Ramirez?
Yes.
Thank you.
He sounds Spanish. Sorry, we had to do that joke. That was
You know what? I
dumb.
just learned it. Right. Okay. I learned that it's a clown show today. Anywho.
Wow. No, I have heard of Richard Ramirez. Again, I think on the last episode I said one of the scariest guys.
No, but listen, Richard Ramirez was definitely a force to be reckoned with because, not only with the childhood, it's just that the crimes he committed, and then also too being known as a serial killer that the only one actually in history that not only when he murdered people, of course, but he would rape and sodomize little girls and little boys, which was actually unheard of because, unfortunately, pedophiles have a type, which is horrible that you have to say this, but that doesn't make any sense either. But usually they're into like either young girls or young boys, but he was across the board. So and actually his victims, they ranged from ages 6 years old to I think it was 89.
60. Wow.
Yeah.
That's
it was right.
So
it was
he
definitely
had no specialties with him. Just everybody.
Right. Yeah. Anything worked for him across the board. And he was born in 1960 in El Paso, Texas. And he had 4 siblings. So, and the household he had was rough. Like he would be outside playing on his own when he was like 3 or 4. As far as supervision, the father was alcoholic. And he was very abusive. Not only that, when it came to punishing Richard Ramirez, when he would punish him, he would sometimes take him to the cemetery and tie him to a cross and leave him out there in the cemetery overnight just to prove a point to him. So
what was the point?
Right. Right. I know. You're like, you're killing me. You're like, at some point you're going to end up here, but I could put you here sooner. I just want to remind you.
The point was to get trauma.
Right, basically. He's like, how can I traumatize this child?
Yeah.
Cemetery, we're on our way. So
did he kill Pop?
Unfortunately,
Did he kill the father?
No.
Wow.
And that probably should have been the first one you went for. Yeah. Some of them you be like, and you sure you didn't want to put your father on the list? Because I'm thinking he should have been number 1. At like the age of 10, he started doing alcohol, marijuana, and then unfortunately, he had a cousin who was Miguel Ramirez, an older cousin, and he idolized him. He looked up to him. And Miguel Ramirez, he was actually a beret in Vietnam. And what he would do is he would have pictures that he would show Richard when he was a child of when he had raped, murdered, and dismembered or decapitated women. And unfortunately, Richard Ramirez stated he was fascinated by it, the pictures, and he was intrigued. So he found it interesting. And of course, he looked up to him. Another traumatic experience, when Richard Ramirez was 13 years old, his cousin Miguel was arguing with his wife, and Miguel pulled a gun on his wife. And she was like, "What are you going to do? Shoot me?" And Miguel shot her in the head in front of Richard when he was 13 years old.
Ladies, please, just don't.
And of course,
don't
he was
ask the questions you don't want answers to.
Right,
like,
I know. You're like,
like,
what are you going to do? Shoot me? You're like, oh, all right. Well, he wasn't bluffing.
I mean, almost. I'm not even upset about that part. I was like, well, she kind of asked for it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? That boy got a gun. Duck. She could have ducked, stop, drop, roll, anything. What, you going to shoot me? Just saying that part. Like,
right,
that part,
That's exactly why your opinions don't matter. Thank God for that. So, right.
That's
so
why he shot her too. That's probably
her.
why she probably said that too.
You'd be like, you're not even a real man. And then he probably pulled a trigger. We try to come up with our best phrases ever and make it work. Doesn't mean we'll live through them, but we make an attempt because we're petty. So unfortunately, he murdered her. and he was not found guilty due to insanity. And he ended up going into a mental facility for several years, but then he was released. And when Virgin got to, I think he was like around 14 after that, when he moved though, and he decided to move with his sister Ruth. So now, unfortunately, Ruth's husband was a peeping Tom and a voyeur.
This boy.
So yeah, he has like no chance at all. Like, I think that's the part that upsets you the most. You're like, so what's the next story?
His family told him the whole game. Like he just learned it from family members.
So his brother-in-law would take him out with him on voyeurs or like the peeping Tom trips or whatever to spy on women. And then when his cousin Miguel got out, all three of them would go together.
Three amigos.
Right, basically. So they were like, it was a family
right.
thing. So unfortunately. And then as he got older, he decided he wanted to move. So Richard Ramirez decided to move to California at the age of 22.
Better people.
Really? Yeah, okay. At least the weather's nice. I mean, I don't know what else you can ask for. But when he was out there, and of course he got into then cocaine and heroin. So he was committing burglaries and so on and so forth in order to, maintain his habit. He also started stealing cars. So with that, he was terrorizing San Francisco along with Los Angeles. And he would steal cars and just, try to get hotel rooms or just stay different places. But he was known as the Night Stalker because he would just, intrude on people's houses and try to rob them. Before he started doing that, though, he would kidnap children. So he would kidnap a child, molest the child, and then abandon the child somewhere else to let the child go. And the one thing that was his downfall, as far as people being able to recognize him or know him, when it did come in the end to identifying him, was his teeth were so bad. They were decayed. He had lost a lot of teeth. His teeth were very rotten, and his mouth was horrible.
Crackhead and bad teeth go together.
Right, basically. So, and of course, poor hygiene. He just didn't brush his teeth, but he didn't care. So he didn't care. And one of the things, like I stated, unfortunately, he was into little boys and little girls, but his motto usually was when he would break into houses, especially if it was a man, he would come in, shoot the husband in the face, then rape the wife, and then rape or sodomize the child. So it could be instances where there were survivors, but not necessarily all the time, though. So yeah, he terrorized. When I say he terrorized the community, he definitely terrorized the community. Another thing is he was very into satanic cults and whatnot. So when he would rape or terrorize these people, he would want them to say that they worship Satan and there was Satan their savior. Like that was the thing he would make you do because he was so into it and he was a big believer as far as that. So that was one of his twists.
I'm not participating in all that. I ain't gonna get raped and talk to Satan. That's a lot. Like that's
yeah, like he just
that's where you draw the line.
Yeah,
that's where you draw the line. Okay, so you're okay with getting raped then?
I mean, one or the other. I mean, if you had to get one of them, one or the other, like, and I gotta talk to you too during it. That's more than $40.
He was about pain, like torture. I think the whole not having a type, which is the terrible way. He really just wanted all the innocent people. It was always like the ranging. He just wanted to commit just awful acts. Which is nuts. Which is why he scares, I think, us the most.
You ever wonder why these people never run up on a kid that's going to be a serial killer and like meet his match or something? Like you go to rape him and he want to rape you, and wonder why these things never clash like that. That would be pretty.
Yeah, from like maybe the kids from that one of the horror movies. What is it? Is it Child's Play or just like run up?
Did you say Child's Play?
Definitely, I can see that, Mike. It's a shame.
They never run up on these serial. They always he ran in and shot the father in the face. So if you're really about work, you're gonna rape everybody. Like it's some bitch assness in there a lot. Like you want to be tough. You portray all this like rob people, I fight people and all this, but it's never anybody that's going to put up a fight. Yeah, is what I'm saying. It's never nobody.
He was never that guy either.
No, he was definitely not. He was not like a fighter. And then not only that, when he was a teenager, also he had gotten a job at a hotel, so he had molested 2 children on the elevator. Didn't get charged for that. Then he was working there and he raped a woman that was in her hotel room, and the husband came in the hotel room and fought him to beat him off. Now, of course, he beat Richard Ramirez up, but they left and they didn't press charges. So he got away with that also.
So see, your wife and you don't press charges?
The thing that they didn't live there and they left town. They didn't stay in town to either deal with charges or even
she was the side chick. He wanted his wife to know.
Okay, it was
I think
his
that's what
wife.
happened.
No, it was his
That's-
wife.
that's what-
No, just because you are into side chicks, it was his wife. Everyone's not like you. There are some decent men out there.
I mean, if somebody
there are.
rapes your wife, you're not going, even though you beat them
You
up, you're
beat 'em
still
up, but
going to
the
do
thing-
something.
No, listen, you can say what you want. Come on now.
Leave
First
them
of all,
there.
What
No,
year do
listen.
you think this is?
Yeah,
Oh,
thank
what are
Now,
the years? What are the
Remember,
years?
we were still very much like shaming
do you-
women
right, basically.
for having
like,
them get
what
raped.
gets me is you act like we're equal now, even. Like, just
Seriously.
stop. Just sit down, Mike. Like, you sound dumb.
Listen,
And
Oh,
secondly,
what?
It's
What?
your woman. It's your. I mean,
It doesn't
your wife.
matter.
Oh, so
You can't
she's saying
keep
to the
victim
husband,
blaming
might get-
every single podcast, dude.
thank you.
Huh?
Listen, you victim blame every time. Secondly,
It does suck.
the woman is going through the trial, not you. It didn't happen.
Yeah.
to
I'm
you.
talking about the husband. The husband didn't want to call the authorities after he
Okay,
went in.
The point
And
is,
that guy.
the
But
woman
you-
goes through the trial,
Yeah.
not you. So that's what I'd like you to
You
understand.
can call the
I know
cops,
you
but if
can't
she's not
seem
going to testify,
to
it doesn't matter.
sympathize, right? I don't know if you can seem to sympathize with victims, but try.
You monster. You absolute.
Yeah, like I
Listen,
just
this is
Disgusting.
my point of view. All point of views ain't good point of views, but this is, what I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Your
I was
point
just,
of view-
if
yeah,
it was
your point of
me, it
view
would
is
be
always
like, I
harmful.
mean,
You're doing
Okay.
this in front of Comedian Shari right now, dude?
Huh?
You're
Right.
doing this in front of Comedian Shari right now?
she
Thank
knew
you,
what it
Neil.
was when she signed up to be a friend. This is me.
Wow.
This is me.
Right, and I emailed him. The contract ended. I just didn't get the response from the email. So either way, though. So anywho, yeah. So when he worked at the hotel, and then another thing is, and you see him on the screen, and you've seen different pictures of him. His eyes are just dark. It's almost like he's empty. And when I say he felt no remorse, he never felt any remorse. He just didn't feel bad. It didn't really faze him. He ended up being convicted of 13 counts of murder, 5 attempted murders. What was it? And then 11 sexual assaults and like 14 burglaries. And of course, the sad part is that's not all the cases, because now he went to jail, and of course he was sentenced to death row, and he was on death row for 2 decades. And then he passed away, and that was in 2013. But in 2009, they got DNA from a 9-year-old girl. It was a Chinese girl that he had raped, beaten to death, and then he hung her by her blouse from a pole in the basement of an apartment. And then actually in 2016, they put his DNA to another victim. So the sad part is, even though he was convicted of those counts, there still were several more counts, because you have to remember the 13 murder counts along with his other, because it ended up being 43 counts for his case. But they took the children cases out. So the children didn't have to be subjected to a trial. Right.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, because it was a 6-year-old that it spoke. And it was sad, because the 6-year-old said, "That's him." And she said, "Do you want me to testify? I'll testify. I'm not scared. I just don't want him to do it to anybody else."
Strong lady.
So yeah, I mean, it's
strong
sad to
kid.
think that a child is that strong, but it's sad to think that someone would put a child in that predicament and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's really sick as far as that. And and that was his motto, like to sneak into different homes and victimize people. And his twist was he was in bondage. And when he attacked people, he would use either like a hammer, a crowbar, a knife. Like he was hands-on. Like that was one of his biggest things. He wanted to be hands-on with the violence. Now, when it came to him shooting someone, he would shoot a husband. So there was no fight to engage in. That was one of his biggest things. He would kill the husband right away. So then he can victimize everybody else in the house.
Just see them had a thing off,
Right.
feeding off their pain.
Right. Because he liked to see people suffer. And he just was so, he thought the satanic cult was everything. I think the one part though that, it always appalled me with Richard Ramirez is the fan club that he had. When he went
People
to
are crazy.
court, now he always was known for his decaying teeth. So when he was locked up, he ended up getting his teeth fixed, of course, because, when these prisoners get locked up, they get the best medical care ever. So I'm just saying, if you don't got a health plan, I'm not saying get locked up. I'm just saying you're going to get all the pills you need and that dental work that you don't have to pay for. So when he would come into court, he'd be having suits and he'd have sunglasses on. And women would be in the court. They would lift their shirt up. They would flash them. They'd be like, "I love you." Oh, listen, they were in love with him. And I think the part that bothered me the most is I understand that there were women that were intrigued with Ted Bundy. But the difference with Richard Ramirez and Ted Bundy, Richard Ramirez raped and sodomized little girls and little boys. And he still looked hot to you in a suit and sunglasses. I don't really care if he's suited or booted. All I'm saying is,
why did they even suit him up anyway?
oh no, listen, because that's what he wanted. He got his teeth done. He wanted to wear the glasses because his fan mail was crazy at the time. You'd be amazed. The pictures, the women that wanted to be with him, they were like, "You're railroading him." Really? His DNA's on it. Really? I can't imagine. And the crazy part is when they finally did release, because he had 14 months. He had a 14-month run that he did this from 1984 to 1985. So in August 1985, they didn't want to release his name and the picture. They said, let's wait. At least we finally found out who he is. Let's try to find him. They said, no, we're going to release the name and the picture. They were like, but he's a transient. So then it'd make it hard for us to find him and he might take off, which I understood what they meant. But the decision they made was excellent because he went to carjack someone. And because his face and name was plastered everywhere, when he went to carjack the guy, not only did the guy fight him, the people in the neighborhood, everyone started coming out their house and started beating him. And then the cops came. And they were, when I say they were proud of themselves, let me tell you something. They were proud. They felt like they were Floyd Mayweather. Okay, they were like, "We're winning. The champ is here." They were killing it. But yeah, and the funny part is, he said afterwards, "If I had a gun, I would have made everyone scatter." Right?
It's a gun,
right? And secondly, you don't have time for a gun. And since you're so big and bad, how about you learn to fight? Like that's all I'm saying. Like. But yeah, he did. So they captured him. And I don't really think he thought he was going to get off, but I think he just enjoyed the attention. He liked the attention. He liked the spotlight in court. And he was just crazy in his thoughts. He just didn't see anything wrong with the things he did. And the people that he tormented or that he subjected to the things that he did, it was just like, it was appalling. Like, it's nothing worse than being violated and being raped. But then for someone to get such pleasure out of demeaning you or to make you feel so worthless, people don't understand, like mentally, that does a lot. Like as a woman, you already feel violated. But then for somebody to do something like that to you mentally, like I just couldn't imagine that. I couldn't. Like it makes a really big difference.
I don't understand these fan club women. Like you chase this guy clearly don't want you because you want to give it to him. Like I don't understand what do they think they're getting out of this?
The crazy part, though, that did surprise me, though, in the end, is what Richard Ramirez said. And Richard Ramirez stated when they gave him the charges and he said, whatever. And they were like, oh, he's guilty. And of course, I think they upheld it. It was like 19 death sentences because it was 43 counts. And Richard Ramirez stated, I don't need to hear all of society's rationalizations. I've heard them all before. And the facts still remain. What is what is. You don't understand me. You're not expected to, and you're not capable of it. I am beyond your experience. I am beyond good and evil. Big deal. Death always went with the territory. I'll see you in Disneyland. As he listen, and he wasn't fazed. And then when they did do an interview later on, I think that was in 94 when they did his interview, he had asked them, is there such a thing as a bad seed when a baby is born? Is he already born a serial killer? Or is he created? But he said, no matter what, please destroy the tapes after we're done this. I don't want tapes of me out there. But you're not going to make me look bad, right? Wow. Really, Rich? Well, I think you did that all on your own. But, teach his own. Well, but yeah, he was a force to be reckoned with. So, but unfortunately, Death Row didn't keep him. He passed away in 2013 from complications from cancer.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's not.
He didn't suffer enough to me, but
that's terrible.
It's one of those things. But these
that was no
sad part. Yeah, make that funny, Mike. Come on now.
Huh? Oh yeah, what are you gonna do?
Make that funny, bud.
Yeah, make a joke out of that.
What's funny about that, huh?
Because this is like just try to highlight it and make it seem like victims don't matter here.
I didn't say nothing about victims don't matter. I said it's messed up that the cancer took him. Like it should have been something else. I got a death penalty, something more justice. You just died from cancer after all that. I mean, that just seems.
You know what, in hell, I'm not really surprised because the funny part is he was playing R. Kelly's song in the car. So some people support everybody.
Listen. R. Kelly did what he did, but his music was still great.
Oh, but did he do it to you? Because you know how you are with victims.
Do what? No, what do you mean?
You know what? See, my point exactly. And this is where you appall me. Crimes to remember, and hopefully Mike one day will get it. All right, now we're at the segment where what irked your soul this week?
I just got one.
That's fine, because you know me, I have to narrow it down. I try to keep it simple. And we are now bringing on comedian Chris Adams. How are you today?
Hey, I'm feeling good. Like I said, I've been doing comedy for years, and I finally made it to a podcast about murder and rape. So
you know what? I can't.
Goals, right? Goals.
I can't with you. Chris is very funny. I worked with Chris out in New York, and he's definitely been doing his thing. Now, as far as travel, no one can compete with Chris. Where did you just get back from? Like Dubai, some rich place? I don't know. He traveled to 3 places at once. Where were they?
I actually went to 3 countries in the past 2 weeks. I went to South Africa. I visited Johannesburg and Cape Town. Then I went to Mexico, and then I went to Bahamas.
Rich people problems. Right. Oh my goodness, that sounds exciting. Gotta love it.
Yeah.
You said, yeah, I love that humbleness. He's like, I do what I do with my money. But so now with this segment, we talk about irk your soul because we like to get off our chest what irked our soul. And of course, our producer Neil never seems to get mad about anything, but we let him mention something that's really not annoying to him.
Well, it's usually Shari, but he don't say it to her face.
I am unshakable. You will not break me.
It usually isn't me, but just because I annoy you, no one cares. So, Chris, enlighten me. What irked your soul this week?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, summer. I'm telling you, summer keeps coming around like I had time to work out and shit. I'm serious. Like I'm wearing a pair of Spanx right now to keep all this shit under control. I'm looking like a fucking city girl underneath the shirt. I gained so much weight during fucking COVID. A pregnant lady gave me her seat on a train on the. I'm serious. I'm tired of it. Like people keep mistaking me for a gospel singer, and it's like, yo, man, I am not fucking Marvin Sapp.
You know what?
And and it's all to do with fucking summer. It's like, yo, I'm fucking bitches with a sleep apnea mask on now.
You know what?
And it's all because
if they stay there with it, then you still winning.
Oh my God, no, that's just appalling.
That's real love. That sounds like real love.
Hey, we don't shame.
That's right.
What are you doing?
First of all, I
love.
Don't shame because if I had a man that had sleep apnea, I would definitely be there for him.
Yeah, you would finish him off. That's exactly what you would do. Definitely unplug your sleep apnea.
Until that motherfucker come in the room looking like Maverick from Top Gun.
Right.
Say that now. Baby, be a fucking Tuskegee Airman again.
I give unconditional love.
Oh,
okay.
Man.
Even if you were in a wheelchair, we'd be wheelchair stunting together and I'd be right with you.
Wow.
Okay.
Yep, right down a flight of steps.
Yeah. Didn't she say she keeps lying
in the basement? Yeah, but she goes unconditional.
I was lying. Stop playing. No, I would be there no matter what, though.
Yeah, but you wouldn't.
So are you getting? You know what? My soul. So are you going to start working out for the summer?
I keep saying yes, but no.
Forget it. It's here now. Next time.
It's too late. Like people are still just gonna come up to me and be like, "You look like Kenan Thompson from Saturday Night Live if he fucked the youth pastor." I just gotta roll with what I got now.
Oh my God!
I'm glad he said it, and I didn't have to. I was gonna say that was kind of my thing, but whatever.
Plus, all right, and you already have a wife, so that's all that matters. See, once you're married, you can let yourself. Well, you shouldn't. No.
I did.
Said, I did.
Done and done.
You're like, check, already did that.
Bitch, what else do you want from me?
I'm still here, aren't I? That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Yeah, after a certain point, you'll accept them any way you can get it. You be like, I don't care if you're fat or not. You like, as long as you don't leave. I mean,
well, that's why they like the fat guys. It's harder for them to get out, right?
Let me tell you something. You cook for them and feed them. That's all that matters. He won't leave you, and it'll take him longer to get away. That's all I'm saying. You gotta know your limitations. Like at some point, you gotta lower your standards. That's
unconditional entrapment is what.
That's love.
Hostages.
Sounds like love to me.
Yeah. Very close to it.
I buy you gifts too. Like,
right.
Yeah.
You get
I'm not you a gift. It's an assortment of jams.
my God.
These are various baskets we can put little
Yeah.
and smaller blankets in. Got you a gift.
She getting men off charcuterie.
Oh my God, I can't. Mike, what irked your soul this week?
Yeah.
And please try to be somewhat decent, because you know how you are.
If you could clean it up, Mike.
I-
This is
I-
beat
I-
up on Mike episode.
I don't like how they gang up on me, Chris. I'm glad you're here because I'm outnumbered every time I jump on the podcast.
Yo, I'm
Try to
noticing
come in,
that.
bring me. You see what happens here on a crime podcast, and they jumping on me. I think we're gonna be doing one about them soon.
Sherry's doing the eyes like that.
You see it? She gave me the
like
murder
she
eyes
knows-
right
yeah,
now.
She's got like the what? I didn't poison them eyes.
You see that?
You be like, that
Watch
water
the
tastes
show,
a little
Chris.
funny, you got?
Who, me? Talking to me?
If
I
a
didn't-
new host show up, call somebody.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. Might be a
She
different
definitely
host.
did it. She
I
definitely.
hear
did it.
you'll be buried in a shallow grave in the backyard with your fucking pinky fucking twitching just like this
Yeah.
in the moonlight.
I'm upset. He knew it was gonna be shallow. He knew I'm small and skinny. He knew it wasn't gonna take
Yeah,
much
you
digging.
can already tell he was small.
You
You
can
only
saw
got to
that
do that
from
much
there.
digging.
That's
And
all
that's
right.
the good part. Like, you don't have to dig as much. You don't got to dig the holes deep. So to make it
That's
a
some
lot
bullshit. I'm about to gain weight just to make
Just
it
to
work.
make it harder.
Just to make it work.
Right.
easier. Yeah, okay. I could not. What irked your soul besides
Did you say
yourself?
what hurt your soul?
Yeah, thank you. No.
Yeah,
Yourself.
y'all.
Yes,
The
okay.
gang up,
Oh,
the gang
so
up on people.
The
It
gang
never
up.
ends. That's what I'm saying. I don't-
So
I
now
don't
all
like
of a
it.
sudden you're sensitive.
I try to break my. I don't know, but I had to have
You
something
make
to
fun of
use.
victims. You're mean.
Not
Now you're
victims.
sensitive.
I'm not making fun of the victims. I'm just looking at it from a different
you
point
realize
of view.
may
Then you
have blamed
some
All
victims.
right, give me an
of
example.
sexual
Give me an
assault.
example.
Let me-
Chris, you here right now. Give me an
Yeah,
example
yeah.
of what
The
I did.
example.
wrong.
Let me tell you
Give me
where
an
he went
example.
wrong.
Okay.
Unfortunately, when I stated the comment, Richard Ramirez, he was on a death row for
Yeah.
decades, and unfortunately, he passed away in 2013 from cancer. Oh my God, Ramirez, we lost him from cancer. All right, he just had
See, she took it wrong.
43 counts.
She took it wrong.
13 murders, 5 attempted, 14 burglaries. Like, seriously.
Bless
and
his
you worried
soul,
about
though. Bless
Richard
his soul.
Ramirez.
Yeah, he's doing a breast cancer walk with Ramirez on his back.
Yeah.
Dressed in pink.
Chris,
in a
you're supposed to be
pink
on my
jumpsuit.
side, Chris. Chris supposed to be on my
Man,
side.
Chris immediately
I'm
bailed
about to
on
send you a basket.
Thank you,
Muffins
Chris.
in it and shit.
So supportive.
Well, I was saying, I'm heavily misunderstood around here.
Very
Heavily
much so.
Chris
misunderstood.
will
What I
probably
was
be here
saying
next week,
was,
just so everybody knows.
see, I told you, she already planning to offer me the lime. What I was saying that they shouldn't have let cancer kill him. They should have, murdered. He was on there for 2 decades.
Right,
How
yeah,
long
too
was the list?
dignified of a way to go out.
Yes, thank you. See what I'm saying? You should have
Yeah.
got raped or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because he's
There's
still
one.
because
They got him on death row in a room by himself.
Wish kid.
He did get to meet John Cena. I did hear about
Right.
that.
You know what happened? He's like,
That's not true. That's crazy.
He all at the Sixers
Hefty,
game. I
hefty.
can't buy a ticket.
You know what?
Right? And got his teeth fixed. What?
Yeah.
I know, listen, isn't that crazy? That's the part that irks your soul, though. When they get in there and get that excellent medical care, you're like, seriously?
You know how much dental plans on? He had to murder 43 people to
They'll be like
get your
this.
teeth
Right.
fixed.
They're like this. Your bill is only $3,500, and we're going to cover $175. Wait, what? You're like, oh, God, what's
Yeah,
that?
like I mean, especially I just death row. I just didn't realize that because I would think that any type of teeth fixing would not be something you would get on death row. They'd be like, well, you can kind of eat. I mean, let's be honest. But then you hear 20 years, and then you're like, oh well,
3 meals a day.
because if you,
He don't need. You're going to kill him. Why does
That's
he need to
what I'm
have
saying.
die
Listen.
with perfect teeth?
I guess because the
taxpayers-
cafeteria food doesn't want to change up its menu because he's gonna have to gum everything. To be honest
know
with you,
what?
I don't know.
But the medical care they get in there is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. There's
Damn,
people out here that
Sherry.
have no insurance, and these people in there like,
You want-
got my teeth fixed.
Damn, Sherry, and then Sherry's against people
Yo,
locked up.
I
Look at that.
love your
You know what? No, I'm
Podcast
not
is
against them locked up.
controversial.
I want it to be back in the day. Like if you hung a person a week later when they did something, I don't understand why death row was so long. That's what I want to
Yeah,
do.
2
My thing is this,
decades. That's
if you
wild.
murdered 3 or more people, we're saving you for 3 meals a day for what reason now?
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
just
It took him a decade to kill him. He killed 43 people in 2 years? Or
he did
something?
a 14-month spree.
I mean, maybe he should have been running death row. He'd have knocked
You
some
know
things out there quick.
Chris, this is still irked our soul, but Richard Ramirez really irked our soul
Yeah,
today.
yeah,
so,
like he just took it to another level where you just consumed all of our things.
yeah, it's
Now,
a problem.
what irked you this week?
What irks me this week? It's always a set thing. Actually, it's a comedy. Atlantic City crowds. If you come out to a 6 p.m. show, let's say the day before Easter, try to, I don't know, wash your ass and like just make sure you're not hammered drunk a little and yelling at the stage most of the time. At one point telling me you were going to fuck me and then not fuck me. And then your boyfriend's there. It's kidding. He's not your boyfriend. I didn't ask you any questions for all of that. So yeah, I don't know. Atlantic City, just get your shit together.
I mean, it's Atlantic City, though.
I know, but get your shit together a little. I'm asking like, hey, be drunk, but don't yell. Like, I'm not, you know what I'm saying?
So are you irked at the yelling or the reneging of the pussy that was
It was confusing. I don't like getting gaslit. My dick got gaslit that night. I didn't see that coming. I didn't, you know what I mean? It was, she was both hitting on me and then immediately pulling it away and then hitting on me again and then pulling it away. And then at one point she just said, yeah, no, I am gaslighting you. I'm like, I'm trying to do jokes. Like, you're not even, your topics aren't even on my jokes. They're just, you just chose to yell. So I think the yelling, but hey, whatever. I'll do the gig again and we'll see if I can fight them. I'll fight them outside. We'll fight or fuck outside. I don't care.
I've never heard any woman that offered the coochie and then changed her mind.
I've never heard. She was just messing with me.
Yeah. You probably.
Yeah, you've never heard of that at all, right?
Yeah, she ain't here because she said it.
I think she didn't like that.
She usually don't like nothing I say.
So normally I would say what irked my soul this week.
The list keeps getting longer.
Right. You're like, oh my God, already things to talk about. And then Mike was like, let me take that off your list because I want to come in there and knock it off the list. No. And you're not going to knock it off the list because I'm already irked with something else. What I don't like is, please, people, I try to be friends with people and I try to be nice. Please don't volunteer lies. That's all. You ever have friends that just volunteer lies? Like they tell you something, you're like, you just didn't have to, you went so hard on this. You're like, oh, like a friend of mine owed me some money. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can get my money together. I'll be all right. Really? Because you were out 5 nights last week, balling out of control. Your money seems just fine. Like, I don't mind. Please just don't let people know you're out balling. That's all I'm saying. Like, drinks over here, a bottle over here. That's all I'm saying.
I'm on your Instagram. Yeah. I see what you're doing.
Listen, that's all I'm saying. Like, it just irks your soul. And then when you say something to me, like, what? Oh, no. Well, what happened was it was last minute. No, stop. I don't care if it was last minute or not. Like, you were still getting it in. You're like, okay.
So you got last minute money. Yeah. The ball out of control. That wasn't even planned.
Right. Dan had the money technically. But
so did you borrow from someone else and still the Lord came through. And then you put someone else's money with it. Was like, we're about to ball till we fall. So you got coochie on my money. And then now I should be able to get her and give it away to somebody else or something. Like, what the?
That is my album. Coochie on my money. I've never just heard that. Sorry, and Chris, I think the Lord came through. Was that what you said?
Yeah, the Lord came through.
I like
and
that.
You can always tell somebody lying too, and they give you the spelling bee eyes. You ever see him like, yeah, and then it was like,
Then another thing that irked me. Now, I need your opinion on this because I think this is gonna blow y'all away. Y'all gonna be
double irking right now.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Oh yeah. No. Yeah. You can't let it go. You can't let it go because you try to hold on to some friends. But did you ever have a friend that you're a ladies' man, you're killing the game, getting these women?
None of us. But yeah.
Really? Okay.
Sure.
Good job, lying. Neil.
I'm very busy.
He getting fucked on stage. Can't even tell his jokes.
Thank you. I've seen your shoe size, Neil. Stop lying.
I forgot about that part.
I saw your shoe
Forgot
size.
to say that. You got to work on your lies now.
It can be big, but doesn't.
This guy's the Bobby Brown of the comedy world.
Volunteering lies. You're irking my soul.
He said it's his prerogative.
Listen, I understand you men like to have. This is another thing though. Let me raise my hand. Am I allowed to mention like? No, because you like how you men like 3 chicks at one time, or we're not supposed to say that. No, none
of ones know my name anyway. My real name anyway.
All right, that's fine. So we can say that. All right, you're disgusting right there. So you have a main one, and the fact that you're like, sure, go ahead, talk about that. Right. Stop with the 3, the magic number. Just stop. Stop trying to be a pimp.
True.
Another thing is what happens to why are there even switch hitters still out here? Do you know what switch hitters are?
Right, of course. Yeah, it's upsetting.
You know what a switch hitter is?
No, I don't know what a switch hitter is.
You serious?
I'm a Christian.
You're not a Christian at all. Switch hitters.
I can't be with the Lord Christian.
You're straight. You mess with all these women, and then you get caught with a dude.
Yeah.
Oh, you just
come on. Yeah, you're like, come on, fam. This is my thing. And please, let's make this clear. LGBT, BGT community, whatever. Listen, you know they will cancel you. Like, do you not like? Listen, gays are great. Lesbians are phenomenal. Trans are really dressy. Listen,
don't you hate when people volunteer lies?
Oh, that was disrespectful.
I'm sorry, Sherry. I didn't even mean
fire.
I'm not even on this
fire.
podcast. I'm deleting all my voice. Sorry, it was just right there.
Now, one thing about me is I don't lie. That was good. Yeah, I don't like to lie. That was good.
Okay.
So back to that.
I get what you're
so
saying.
they're great. Listen, they're great. All I'm saying is in the time that we're in now, just say you're bisexual.
Yeah, like I've actually heard that from LGBTQ like folks, like where they're kind of like, yeah, all of a sudden they were like back with a girl. You're like, what? Like I thought you hooked up with them. Like, yeah, they just decided whatever. I'm like, oh, okay, that's
just
interesting.
greedy.
So
just greedy.
well, it's just not up front. You know what I mean?
Right,
Just like
that's what
be
I'm saying.
upfront,
Like, don't sit there and you're like, oh, I got this girl, and then you're like this. Yeah, me and the boys about to hang out. Yeah, I bet y'all are. Like, y'all about to hang out all night. All I'm saying is it's the volunteering lies. Like
Right.
and I understand the summer's getting ready to come. So, some people can be out, yeah, I'm out here, I'm balling, I'm getting it. Or, they want to be like, look at all these women I got. And you're like, really? Because you really are a piece of shit. So even if you have a couple women, 9 times out of 10, they're not all quality. You're not even built like that.
Right.
Your money might be okay, but it's still, if your money was where it's supposed to be, you would be doing better. You wouldn't be doing that Tiger Woods shit. 16 bitches and still didn't pay for them.
Look how the summer.
Yeah, the summer. Right. All I'm saying is,
damn.
all I'm saying is, if you want to be a hoe, you want to have 3 chicks, get 3 chicks money. Okay. Don't lie. Stop balling out of control. Like, oh, I got this. No, you don't. Because let me just tell you, some men need to learn.
Yeah.
Some men have a great dick
I've got
game,
like a half chick.
but the dick game isn't that great that you think you can just carry it along.
No, the dick game can't. It can't. I mean, if it does carry some dudes, good, but usually
it can. But it just come on now. Come on, no one wants great dick with brokenness. It just is not sexy. It's sad.
Well, us broke guys, that's when we just rotate them out.
Yeah. I know. Think about this. I mean, it's crazy too. Man, me big dick and rich. It sucks. It's the worst.
Yeah, it does.
Chris, I know. Chris is over there.
Well, listen, with Chris, after he just came back from 5 different countries, I don't really want to. Yeah, so you can't relate to that. But anyway, Chris, what I'm saying is,
that's why he was quiet. He was like, "Oh, work problems."
Yeah, he was like this. He's like,
step out.
He's like, I
checking his Robin Hood app.
He's like,
right
I took a different chick to every country I went to, so I don't really have those problems. He was like, I showed them better than I could tell them. That's what I'm talking about. I'm from the show me state. Show me better than you can tell me. That's all.
Oh man, are we ready for?
Wow, it was lively.
Are we ready for the plug segment? It was lively today.
You know what I've noticed? I think that as we go along, we're just gonna get worse. Next, like one of the segments, because one of the segments is gonna be called "Crimes to Remember," and it's / Girls Gone Wild, and then at the end we're just going to have strippers and throwing money around and be like, "This is how we're balling." And I don't just people are like,
"I'm not bad. I'm with it."
Yeah, it sounds like a plan.
Down here. Yeah,
that'll be our last episode, and then we'll turn off the lights like a TV show that's wrapping up. I like it.
Yes.
We'll all look back in the door, and be like, "Man, sometimes."
They'll be like, "I want that."
Sometimes we had.
Then of course, after we do that, they'll be like this. Hey, I was finding out if you had any spots on the podcast. They're like, no, I don't want to do Zoom. I want to come in. Like, I want to come
Chris,
in.
any thoughts on coochie on my money? Just any thoughts in general. I just keep staring at it. It's entrancing.
Don't get coochie on my money. If you owe me money, don't be out here getting coochie on my money. It's disappointing.
How do you feel about that, Chris?
Hey, the more the better. As long as there's not cartoon stink lines coming up off it.
Right.
It's,
so anybody's money you'll do. That's what he said.
Really?
Anybody's money you'll do. Did it clear? Did the money clear? I like
so disappointed.
And when we talk about money, Chris, it's a $40 max, right?
Right.
There we go. That's all we all understood.
No, you're better.
We're all understood.
He took a chick to another country. I don't care if you give her $5.
Yeah.
Like
he was going anyway. It wasn't for her.
But that's not what
was going anyway.
So women, he did it for me.
She can tell her whatever she wants.
All right. So on our last segment on Crimes to Remember, we always like to do a shout out, meaning we shout out a business, an entrepreneur, an artist, comedian, because we always like to give back and support people because, like we say, support everyone. It's important. We're all out here giving our best and trying to succeed. So, of course, we had Chris Adams on here, and he's been cracking us up all day as usual. But I want to make sure you're able to follow him on social media. And Chris, let us know of any comedy shows that you have coming up or any shows that you've done recently. Where have you been recently, though?
Mostly I've been at Broadway Comedy Club, also at Gotham Comedy Club in New York. And like I said, did a comedy festival in South Africa. But yeah, I have more shows coming up at both of those clubs I mentioned. I'm usually all around New York. Haven't done anything in the Philadelphia area lately, but always looking for shows.
Well, we'll definitely try to see if we can get somebody to bring you to Philly.
Sure.
We want you to
Most
come to Philly,
definitely.
definitely. So yeah, we want people to be able to follow you on Instagram. So we're definitely going to throw that up. And then please make sure you let us know of upcoming shows because we can always post them and always highlight them. But definitely we're here to support you. But I appreciate you coming on our show with our banter and our acting crazy today because we did definitely get live.
Thank you. No, thank you for sharing the platform, Shari. And every time I've come to Philadelphia, you've welcomed me with open arms, introduced me to people. So really appreciate that and good to meet the rest of you guys too.
But definitely,
good to meet you.
That's one thing definitely know about me. I definitely want to make sure you connect and meet people because at the end of the day, I want us all to succeed and do well. So when it comes to networking and getting you out there, I have no problem with it. You're very funny and very talented.
Yeah.
But
I remember that time we did a comedy show in an African club in DC.
Oh my goodness, yeah, that was priceless. You're like, that was priceless. Never a dull moment. All the way out in DC. That was cute. That little setup was entertaining.
Yeah,
Then it was liquor time. You're like, then it was drink time. We had a ball though, and I look forward to work with you again soon. I appreciate you coming on though.
All right. Thank you all so much.
All right, Chris. I'll talk to you soon. Definitely. You have a great night.
Cool.
So I'm glad we got to have this show. Yes, we did get live. And Neil, let me know when you're gonna come out with that book. Coochie on my money.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a good book.
Coochie on my money. I'm gonna come out with the song for it actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna try.
What's that gonna be like?
I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna try for next week. I'm gonna try. We're just gonna, I'm gonna try to put a little beat to it and be like, don't put coochie on my money. That's what we're not gonna do. Yeah, so cool. I don't know. We're trying to mix it up a little bit.
That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it'll be hard. I don't know. You're like, we trash, but I'll try. I'll get creative with it.
Okay, I'm in.
All right.
Whatever money you need.
Thank you. There you go.
whatever you need.
He's winning already. All right. We're going to drinks after this. You win. But as usual, Mike, thanks for coming on and disrupting the show.
Always enjoy.
And blaming victims and siding with Richard Ramirez. And
okay. Take out that part where I said always enjoy.
Yeah,
all right, I'm just say bye.
So.
Yeah, you know what?
This will be out in like a couple of weeks. You got anything coming up in May?
Yes, you have some shows in May.
I have a show in Albany, Funny Bone in Albany. On
Albany?
Albany.
Albany.
Yeah, ALBANY. Yeah.
Okay.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's funny.
It's all good. No, I just you and also Albany might be the way. I don't know, but
you might be doing it in a different one, but we're used
our
to
trash mouths. I just wanted to clarify for people. Yeah, Albany, New York. Come out, see Mike Adams. Where are you gonna be at? Funny Bone.
The Funny Bone. Yeah, the Funny Bone. Yeah, next time what I'll do is I'll just write it down and Neil can read it
for you.
So that way it can pronounce it right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Happy
saying?
to do it for you.
Apologize. Yeah. And this Saturday got Trenton, New Jersey, a private gig. So I'm doing a little something.
Nice.
That's good. I'm proud of you.
All right. Shari Franklin, we got any shows coming up?
Yeah.
I'm being lazy right now, basking my seriously, I'm doing you're like, what kind of no, seriously, I am. I actually am working on that now, unfortunately. I'm joking. I'm working on it with a promoter. It was just that I was able to free up my schedule better now. And then I've also been working from home. So I'm trying to, once I'm getting this in order with my schedule, so at least I'll be able to get out at nights and, not only attend shows, but then get on shows and whatnot.
Because we are very excited for you to hit the scene again. Everybody's waiting. Mm-hmm. Neil, anything coming up? Any more Atlantic City shows?
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to go to Neil's show just so I can just have him.
Yeah, 6 p.m. show. You come on out.
Yeah, I'm going to start drinking at 3:30.
That's what it felt like. So that would be accurate.
Yeah, I don't want you to feel lost. I want to bring it right back, like deja vu.
No, definitely helping me out.
But as always, Neil, a phenomenal producer. And if you want to start a podcast, I'm probably not gonna give you his information because I'm petty.
Right.
And
that's true.
I'm petty. But either way, love having Neil always do our shows. He does an excellent job. And Mike, I always appreciate you coming out and supporting me. And thanks again to Chris Adams. He's very funny. I look forward to seeing some shows and working with him again also. But I appreciate, as always, people coming out, subscribing and supporting our show for Crimes to Remember. And also, people, let me know if you want me to shout out your business or if you're a comedian that I know of and I haven't reached out to. I apologize because I definitely will bring you on. please let me know. I always look to bring on guests, promote their businesses or their shows, especially support Black-owned businesses. I look forward to everyone subscribing and supporting us. Everyone, have a great evening.
Until next time.
This has been Crimes to Remember with Comedian Shari. Subscribe on YouTube at Crimes to Remember, rate and review us on your favorite audio platform, and follow us on Instagram at Comedian Shari.
How you doing? This is Neil Wood from the Cult of Us podcast, speaking on behalf of Drop 10 Media Network, the network you're currently listening to. Make sure to check out all the other podcasts on the network. You can go to drop10.com to check them all out. Make sure to like, subscribe on everything that you see Drop 10 on. We appreciate it. Go to drop10.com now.
This has been a Drop 10 Media Production.